right, look, I owe you a video and I'm here to deliver. In this one, what On calls the Monster 2 and what I call the Monster 2. Now I know that sounds controversial. This is the On Cloud Monster 2. There it is. And then you've got this, which is the Cloud Eclipse. But it's important that I start like that. So we're gonna talk about it. Let's do that. My name is Aubrey, I'm a runner, and I'm good with being me. On this one, we're gonna quickly give you a comparison to help you with your decisions. Which one should you get? As always, I wanna start with the 3 things you need to know about these shoes, starting with the weight. Okay, so very quickly, the Cloud Eclipse, I wear a size 9.5 UK, and it weighed in at 292 grams, whereas 307. Okay, so therefore the score right now, 1-0. When it comes to price, you can't really tell them apart. They're both 170 pounds or 180 US dollars currently. In terms of stack height, now this here is, wait, let's go to this one. So this is where it gets interesting. 35 at the back, 29 at the front being a 6mm drop. And why I think this is the monster, 37 versus 31, also a 6mm drop. But that starts to play out a bit differently when we start looking at the midsole, but I will get to that. So I don't really want to award points because that doesn't really mean anything until, of course, we get to the midsole. Right, wait. All right, keeping scores, it's a draw. Only because of that weight, the price is the same. I don't really award points for the stack height. We're gonna get to that when we're talking the midsole. The next thing we're gonna talk about, let's talk about the heels of these shoes. Honestly, virtually identical. When you look at the outlines on the shape of it, virtually identical. You would literally have to be nitpicking. I feel like On Running have gone, we put out the Eclipse, it wasn't broken. Guys, don't fix it. Do the same over here. Again, that's a draw. Okay, so next up is the tongue. No brainer. The Cloud Eclipse takes that. Let me show you the tongue of the Monster 2. Don't get me wrong, I actually like this tongue. I love the texture of that tongue. If you look closely, it's highly breathable. It really is. But it's a very thin material. It's there. It does offer some gusseting, but the gusseting really starts and ends right at the base of the tongue. However, in the real Monster, let me show you the texture of this tongue. That is well padded. It's got a very cushioned texture. And mind you, it's very cushioned, but it's still a lighter shoe. Secondly, when I talk of gusseting, this bad boy offers you gusseting, and that gusseting comes up quite high on the tongue. Therefore, sorry, bro, 2-0 to the real Monster. Next up is the lacing system. Now, if I'm gonna be real with you, none of these shoes for me would get my point, but I have to pick one. Now, why do I say that? The lacing systems and these eyelets, if I show you this one first, they've gone for those little stringy kind of eyelets, and similar to this one, you can see that. If I bring it to here, you can see the lacing system uses that string mechanism, but we have to pick a winner. Now, there's similar mechanisms, but you have to look really, really close. It just feels like the lacing system on the Eclipse is more resilient, it's a bit more fortified than that of the Cloud Monster 2. Now look, before I go on, let me address a comment that somebody left on the Cloud Monster 2 review saying, Aubrey, you always criticize these lacing systems. Have any of these actually come apart? Yes, they have. I'm not going to tell you which shoe. It won't be fair in this particular video, but maybe I'll do a separate video on lacing systems. Comment below if you want to see that. But let me just demonstrate what I mean. Let's go to this one. This is the lacing system. Let me do it this way so you see it clearly. On that Cloud Monster 2. Whereas this is the Cloud Flow. It actually has holes in the upper. Now, as far as I'm concerned, it's much more resilient to have a lacing system like this. This eyelet's not going anywhere. Simple holes fortify them. Done. All right, cool. Let's get back to it. Now, let me recap as to where we are. I think it's currently 3-0. The weight, the tongue, the lacing system. All right. Now, let me talk about the overall look. Bang. No brainer. Out of these 2 shoes, I prefer the look of that. And that's what the Monster sort of embedded a place of itself within the running culture and within lifestyle. On running, I've realized that. I've seen people wear the Cloud Monsters in the gym, just going out, run about, doing their business. So for me personally, the Monster wins 1 point for the overall aesthetic. Now, don't get me wrong. That's a beautiful shoe, but it's pretty much out there and it's very much a runner-related type of look. Whereas that, hey, you could catch me in Tesco doing the old grocery shopping, picking up my son from school in this here and still looking like a swaggy dad. Look, let's talk about the upper. I've already discussed the look. So aesthetically, we gave it to that. But in terms of performance, for me, the fit and the breathability, they're going to have to split points. In terms of the fit, I love how this fits, especially when you do up the laces, you get a good lockdown. It's a much better fit than what I do get in the Monster 2. However, in terms of breathability, I'm going to have to go with the Monster 2 on that one. There you go. There you go. If you look, all that perforations galore. I like the breathability of this. And that is coupled with the breathability on the tongue if you look closely about the perforations. I'm not going to waste your time. Bang. The Cloud Tech phase literally changed the game for on running. We saw it in the Surfer 7. It's in here. The style of these pods, the way they collapse on themselves, no brainer. Right. The higher stack, no brainer. The placement of the speed board. Now, don't get me wrong. This also has a speed board, but it's up in there in the midsole. Whereas they place this right at the base, and it does contribute to that stability without compromising on the comfort. This will be criticized for that firmness. If you're looking for the intention of the Monster max cushion, look no further. The point goes here. 5-1. Outsole. Bang. This takes it. This is the Monster 2. The reason I say it takes it, remember I talked about that speed board that's on the base of this shoe? This thing here. That's the speed board. If you tap it, right? Now, don't get me wrong, in terms of coverage, I've got no qualms with either of them. But this takes the point down and gives it to the Monster. Being put very bluntly, which of these two shoes should you buy? This one. This one. Now, I get it. Use case matters. You might want a firmer shoe. If you do, that's going to be the one. If you're all about looks, you're not really a runner. You might walk hereabouts. There you go. That's the shoe to get. If you're going to do daily running, if you're going to do up some mileage, if you're going to do basically what anything that a daily trainer does, and you want that cushioned feel, look no further. Don't waste your time. This is the shoe. Between this shoe and this shoe, that's the shoe. This shoe I'm going to wear to let people know I'm not messing about. I'm a runner, bro. Move out the way. And then this shoe is the one I'm actually going to wear when I'm doing the actual running. All right. Anyway, I've got detailed reviews on both these shoes. Let me step aside. If you want to see the Monster 2 detailed review, that's going to be over here. And if you want to see the review of my favorite on running shoe, I'm thinking that came across in this video, click over here. You can see both of those. If you found this useful, different, informative, whatever you want to call it, consider subscribing to the channel. It'll be great to have you. All right. Head to the clouds, feet to the ground. I'll see you on the next one.